The children over at Smogon couldn't even wait a week to start banning Pokemon from the Teal Mask DLC with Baxcalibur, wait, what? Being the first victim. So I've been having a lot of fun going over Smogon ban logic pretty much throughout the entire history of Smogon. It always contradicts with other ban logic, it's a straight up lie, or it just doesn't make any sense if you have game comprehension of Pokemon. So I've been having a lot of fun with these. You can check out my mini series about Smogon ban logic in description down below. But let's see how Baxcalibur is too strong for these casuals. With the release of Scarlet Violet First DLC, many changes happened in our metagame. Some new Pokemon were added to the tier, and some previously existing Pokemon gained new strategies. One of the Pokemon gaining a strategy was Baxcalibur, who got access to Scale Shot and optimized team support. Building a team around Baxcalibur makes it ban-worthy. Baxcalibur was already one of the most potent Pokemon in the metagame. Well, that's what happens after you ban everything. And I wanted to look this up, so we have the August usage stats, where, yeah, Baxcalibur, 6th place, 22%. In July, I think it was 7th with 17%. So it's been creeping up there. But, I mean, it's one of those weird things where we still just have Pokemon well above, the centralizing common big threat. But just looking at this list, things already don't make sense. So let's see what was going on. Baxcalibur was perhaps on track for a traditional suspect and ban if the last metagame had more time. What? However, DLC came, and many people thought this would bring increased counterplay to Baxcalibur with more fast Pokemon, more fairy types, and so on. With the addition of Scale Shot, the set mix of Baxcalibur became more threatening as it was able to boost its speed while doing great deals of damage. People already use loaded dice with Icicle Spear, but now there's even more reason to use it. Throw in the conventional sets, and there it is, the theoretical must-be-banned Pokemon that has access to 12 different moves, 3 different natures, 5 different items, and now a whole host of support Pokemon behind it. So throw in the conventional sets, the likelihood of support from Snow Warning and Aurora Veil. Okay, so Alolan Ninetales Aurora Veil, needing an entire Pokemon and a turn to set up for the Baxcalibur, now makes it too strong. And we've already seen Light Screen Reflect be very problematic for Smogon players as well, so they do that into Baxcalibur, and that makes it too strong. Terastallization component allows it to circumvent common revenge killing options, and you get one of the strongest options OU has ever seen. It just never adds up, dude. What's with this over-exaggeration? And the NPCs just keep eating it up. So Baxcalibur, with the introduction of Scale Shot, became one of the strongest Pokemon in the history of Smogon competitive. Ignoring everything else that's been banned, everything else that hasn't been banned, all the centralizing and just powerful strategies we've seen, this is one of the strongest ever. Needing Aurora Veil, Scale Shot, Baxcalibur. And that's the same garbage we've been seeing all generation. Oh, Terastallization makes it too unpredictable. Oh, multiple movesets makes it too unpredictable. You can apply this logic to any Pokemon, and that's how they can squeeze a ban out of anything. And now that suspect tests don't really exist because you plebs cannot be trusted with the metagame, we just see the ban happiness instantly, even for Baxcalibur. That's how bad it's gotten. That's it. They just say Scale Shot and Unpredictability too strong, and it's one of the best things we've ever seen in Pokemon, therefore immediately ban it. We elected to include Baxcalibur in the first post-DLC tiering survey, which is still ongoing. Don't even let it finish. While I do not have a formal final score for it yet, I can say with confidence Baxcalibur's score was one of the highest in history. This is what happens when you have babies that need to be coddled. The second these babies are challenged with a Flavor of the Month strategy, they call for a ban because they are too unskilled to develop game sense, develop better team building, or adapt to the meta, which is actually a definition of skill according to Smogon's own tiering policy. Team building skill, building towards strategy, creativity, and then catering to the metagame is valuable. This prompted us to conduct an emergency council vote, which is similar to how we handled Regieleki with the release of Pokemon Home. And anyone that's actually used Regieleki knows that it's not a ban-worthy Pokemon. It's not even that great of a Pokemon because so many common Pokemon just wall it out and invalidate it. And if it doesn't get the Oko, it gets one-shot by almost everything. So Smogon continues to be a large group of entitled casual players led by a small group of delicate bad players. I called this way back in like Generation 4 when I first started like, oh yeah, you're not allowed to use Garchomp, it's banned. I went, what? What kind of trash player can't deal with a Garchomp in Generation 4? And it really hasn't changed since then. Same thing with like Evasion Claws and Sleep Claws and all their nonsense. But the only logic is Scale Shot and Support, which is not a neutral game state. It's crazy how I've been onto this for over a decade to where all the ban logic ignores neutral game states in Pokemon. It's like, yeah, the Pokemon you're calling for a ban against is getting so much free stuff, like Stealth Rocks or massive amounts of advantage, and then there's like no other acknowledgement from the opponent in this like 6v6 or drawn out Pokemon game, but somehow it's like, yeah, you just magically start the game with an Aurora Veil. And Ninetales isn't really that strong in Pokemon, so you're starting like a 5.5 V6 with a free turn of setup, but there's also like a turn of switching or sacking off the Ninetales. So, and then like Baxcalibur is then somehow too strong when you give it all of that stuff. So I wanted to actually look into damage calculations because we don't have a life orb. We're cutting damage to get the effect of the loaded dice, which could kind of screw us over on RNG. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. You can run the Adamant Nature because at +1, you outspeed Iron Bundle. So, alright, we actually get like that little bit of extra damage on our 145 attack, but without Life Orb, without +1 from Dragon Dance, we're not one-hit KOing Silvally. What about 85 Pokemon? We're not KOing like the average-ish bulk that we see now in Pokemon, even with 5 hits. We land 4 hits, and it's even less. Now, Baxcalibur being able to take an extra hit or two because of Aurora Veil is going to, like, have it be around and not need to get one-hit KOs, but it's going to get chipped down. Also, Scale Shot drops defense. So the user's speed is raised by 1 stage, while its defense is lowered by 1 stage. So that means, like, a Sucker Punch or Priority Move makes it easier to take out. And it has a 90% accuracy, so RNG can just kind of say, nah, you don't get to win Pokemon today. It's kind of weird, and Smogon has gotten, like, so regressed and underdeveloped. Ice Body is a consideration with the Aurora Veil, so you're healing a 16th at the end of the turn. Even with the damage reduction from Aurora Veil, I don't know how that, like, changes any damage calculations. Ice Body is actually so trash, I think Thermal Exchange not activating is better, because just having the chance that you can switch into a Fire-type move and then gain an attack stage, which now makes all of your damage numbers nutty. So that's kind of what you want to end the game, but the opponent also kind of has to bait into that. You get to see the opponent's team. So if you see a Baxcalibur and then they set screens or something, yeah, Baxcalibur is going to be getting a pretty solid switch in because it's taking less damage and it's just a naturally bulky pseudo-legendary Pokemon. And if you're trying to like, oh, Fire-type hit the Alola Ninetales or Fire-type hit the Screen Setter, yeah, you're just going to be hitting a Baxcalibur neutral. And then he's going to be getting +1 and then Scale Shot one-shots everything. But then also has like Icicle Spear and then a coverage move to back it up. Interesting thing is that you actually get extra coverage by running the Scale Shot instead of the Dragon Dance. So you can do that with like Terra Blast or an Iron Head or some kind of Terra type. That's just how Terra works. You use that to shift around on the opponent, get a free turn, or gain like a massive advantage in KOing an opponent's threatening Pokemon, and then you use that to win the game. So much like we saw the effective banning of Mega Evolutions, since they banned all of the strong Ace Mega Evolutions, and the banning of Dynamax, Smogon players just cannot adapt to situations. The really obnoxious thing about Smogon is how much they over-prioritize prediction when determining how skillful a player is. Like, they're just really looking for that, oh, the double switch prediction really proves that person is better. And if you don't fall into their prediction, like you stay in, and then they whiff a move because they were expecting you to switch into something else, you're the bad player for switching in because they made the probability management risk assessing prediction play that ended up backfiring. So if Smogon predictions go wrong, it's unskillful and must be banned. If Smogon predictions go right, it just proves that they're the better players and that they earn their elitism. I was going to end this video by saying, like, how can anyone play OU? but the babied casual format does have a lot of appeal. It's just very frustrating to see these people, like, not even playing. Like, we are so far removed from real Pokemon battling with Smogon rules to think that they have any skill in Pokemon, or, like, that they consider themselves skillful in Pokemon is the most frustrating part about it, and it's always been that way. Now it just keeps on getting worse and worse and sillier as they ban less and less, like, threatening Pokemon and strategies. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.